there, my stargazers. Star-Lord is here with an exciting little video for you. Yes, I know I've made a couple videos on this topic before, but I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty stoked about this because the day has finally arrived. We've been talking about it for ever, anticipating it, getting little pieces of it here and there over the last couple of years, but Pluto in Aquarius has finally arrived. And wow. I've got a little video I wanted to do on this topic because it's not just about the Aquarius, which is huge. This is very huge. But there's also other things going on. So I have to say that 2025, the world and our lives are going to become unrecognizable. Let me know in the comment section below if you feel it too. I'm starting to pick up on those energies, probably because we're in the final stages. The 19th of November is when the deed is finally done. Now, just before I get started here on my chat about it, I wanted to give you a little bit of history when it comes to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto was in Aquarius from 1778 to 1798. So it spent a fair amount of time there. During this time, the world's balance of power shifted dramatically. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, and the beginning of the Industrial Revolution all took place during this period. The monarchy in France was toppled, demonstrating that even the world's most powerful institutions can crumble. Pluto is associated with destruction and massive transformation. Now, I can't believe it would just be me. I'm sure you all can take a look around at the world right now and see where there are some kind of similarities going on here. If you take a look, the last couple of years have been, well, it's been slowly over the last 10 years getting weirder and weirder. But I would say the last 5 years has been nothing short of absolutely bizarre happenings around the world. Now, I can definitely see, I mean, it's a different time. We're now living in 2025, a long time ago when Pluto was last in Aquarius. But do you see the massive transformation and changes it brought about during that time frame? Now, if you look at the parallel to what's going on in our world today, you can kind of see where the same type of structures and things that have gone down in the past, because remember, even back then, they were coming off of Pluto and Capricorn energy. So whatever things were built up during that time, a lot of it had to fall by the wayside come Pluto in Aquarius, right? So now we are kind of looking at the same thing. The last few years since 2008, what was it, 16 years or so, when Pluto's been in Capricorn, has built up, you know, we saw these institutions grow, corporations grow in massive ways, and it became about a whole, it brought about this whole world of structure and the way that things have been going. It's been very restrictive, you have to admit. But there is a lot of things now that are in the midst of changing. We are seeing these structures now beginning to topple. We're seeing corruption being brought out for the world to see, where all these things were hidden before, right? Remember, Pluto transforms through bringing things that were hidden in the past out into the open now. So we are seeing this, and then what's happening to people around the globe, because this is affecting everyone on a global level as well as a personal level. So there is a shift in energy, there's a shift, people are looking for some kind of change. We don't like those structures anymore. We want corporations sort of out of our business, and we want to have a more more relaxed and freer society. And I think we are on the brink of that. If you actually think about it, there's changes being implemented right now, and we're going to see more of that as we go forward into 25, 26, 27. It's only going to become more and more intense. Now, I've said in prior videos that, the world is going to be demanding freedom. Aquarius is the sign of freedom. It's a sign of humanity. It's sort of the opposite of what we've been accepting basically as the norm for the last few decades. Well, I would say even before, when it was in Sagittarius and Scorpio and all of that. It's been a road that has been building for a very, very long time. Now, like anything, good things came out of that whole time frame. Good things came out of Pluto and Capricorn as well. But there was a lot of negative stuff that has been now brought to the surface to be cleared away once and for all. So you see everywhere you look now, there's like protests going on in all these countries everywhere. That is not by accident. This is because the world is sensing and feeling the change. Now, even if you don't believe in astrology or know anything about astrology, your energy is still a part of the energy field of the globe. So people, first of all, I just want to say a side note on people who don't believe in astrology. Then how do you explain the similarities between what's going on now and what was going on back in the 1700s, right? There's a lot of similarities here. So how do you explain that in 2024, all these years later, we're going through a similar transformation? Well, obviously there must be something to astrology. And I've always said, whether you believe in it or whether you understand it or not, you're still feeling the effects of it. So you might as well know a little bit something about it, because astrology can really help you understand what's going on in the world around you. It can help you to understand your own personality, the personalities of people around you. It can make you more, I can only speak for myself. It has made me more tolerant, understanding certain traits of people of certain signs and things like that. I feel that it's not supposed to be a tool to judge. You can't say, oh, that sign is bad because they do this or that. It's not about that. It's about understanding what they're more prone to do, or how they're more prone to act, and being able to work within those parameters. So I feel that astrology is a really, really good tool. Now, especially when we're coming upon something so huge as this situation with the Pluto movement, if you're all feeling it out there, there's a reason for it. There's a big reason for it. And all I can say in making this video here is to have, that's why I said I'm so stoked about it, is to have faith and have hope in humanity. Aquarius is the sign of humanity after all. And good things came from that transit. There was big movement. There was the collapsing of the old systems that no longer worked. The old guards were set aside, and we were brought into a new world in a sense. But it was fun. It was exciting. There was a lot of things that came from that time. So I would suggest we focus in on that and let go of whatever negativity was attached to the old guard, the old energy. There's no point in bringing it in, because if you bring it in to the new Pluto energy, what you're going to do is make yourself feel out of sorts, because it's not going to work in the new Pluto energy, right? So Pluto will give you a hard time basically, and try and transform you and transform your values and your mindset into the new energy. So the more we fight and resist that energy, the worse it gets on the individual. So I suggest that it's best to embrace the new energy, move into it, and feel excited for it. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about 2025, because there's a lot of transit major planets moving, sorry. Uranus will be moving, it spent the last 7 years or so in Taurus. It's going to be moving into Gemini, right? We have Saturn also moving into Aries for a bit. It'll retro out and then go back in again. We're going to have Neptune also moving from Pisces into Aries again, with that transit going back and forth, and Jupiter moving into Cancer. So as you see just from looking at that, these planets are pretty big, and they're all leaving more or less water and earth, and they're moving more into air and fire going forward. At least the major planets will be in air and fire going forward. Now, what is that? That is fast-moving energy. So for the last, I don't know how many years, especially since it's been Pluto in Capricorn, things have had a tendency to slow down. It's like you want to get things going, and you can get things going, but it was like a drudge. It was like moving in the mud, water and earth, right? But going forward, we are going to be moving at lightning speed. I feel the innovations and the new things that are coming for the world, and even they're going to benefit the individual person. I feel that those transits will, once they get in and pick up momentum in 2025 and 2026, things are going to move a whole lot faster than they have been in the past, to the point where you need to keep up with it. So this is what I'm saying. Do not try to hold on to the old guard anymore, and try and really embrace this new energy. And it's going to be fast-moving energy. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of excited about that, because I like it when things get, implemented quickly right away, and all of a sudden you start seeing the results of things. And when it comes to the innovations and the new things that are coming up, I know a lot of people are concerned about the whole AI thing and everything else. We have to give it a chance. We really do, because it can really, these new innovations can really enhance our lives in a lot of ways. And yes, does it have the potential to go bad? Of course it does. And this is going to be a trial and error situation. And yes, things can go bad. I don't think it's going to be anything drastic. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to end up bringing in more good than whatever the potential for bad is here. So I don't really think we really need to worry about anything. And we have to start embracing all of these new ideas, because most of you would agree with the fact that, yeah, the world has been okay, but I don't think it's been anything too spectacular. It's been kind of a drudge, in terms of everything that's going on, from the economy, you name it. It's been a drudge, and I don't think it's really anything that people are getting too excited about. I think new ideas, new innovations, and new options, new ways of doing things is really going to bring a sense of excitement, which we've all been missing. I feel the world has been missing that true excitement that we used to have back in the day, where something new came on the market and we were so stoked about it and we just loved it, and then it just went from that to something else to something else. People like progression, and people like to be excited, and people like to be motivated. And I feel that that's where we are headed. This new fiery air energy that we're moving into. Hang on to your hats, because things are going to change quite rapidly. And I feel that at the end of the day, people are going to be satisfied with the changes, right? I do believe it was Victor Hugo that had said, no army is any match for a good idea whose time has come. And I feel that that saying is so today. It's so 2024, is it not? I feel like there are new ideas that their time has come now, and we need to start embracing it. The only people who are going to have a difficult time with this are the ones who are trying to resist it and trying to hold on to the old guard, trying to keep things in the system that was basically not working for us. So we need to move forward with anything that is going to help humanity. Remember, going forward over the next 20 years, it's going to be all about humanity. It's going to be about people reaching out to people. It's going to be about community. It's going to be about social networks. It's going to be about social media. The internet is where nowadays everybody gets their news from and their information. I can see the old legacy news actually, it looks like it's already on its way out. Good, because independent media is where it's at. See, again, the old media is part of the old guard. It's all that stuff that's crumbling away. So I believe we shouldn't be trying to hold on to that anymore. We should let it go and embrace what is new and what is fresh and coming in and coming towards us. And if we can do that, boy, there is no stopping us. And this is why I feel so excited. I haven't felt this excited probably in decades, because I feel that energy, that fresh energy coming through. And it's about time that the world started paying attention to the people who inhabit the globe, instead of corporations and making money and everything being about success and all of that stuff. That stuff is great. It's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. But I feel that if you are leaning in that direction at the expense of the people, well, this is where I think they went wrong. And now Pluto and Aquarius has a chance to correct it. And I feel that it will be corrected now. This is going to be our time. I'm speaking to every human out there on the planet. It's going to be our time to shine, to move forward with grace, with humanity, and start caring for our communities, start caring for each other again. And stop with the opposition and being at each other's throats. That is old energy that needs to go, and needs to go now. So I think in order to not make this this video too long, I don't want to ramble here. I think I basically got my message across, and I said what I needed to say. And for all of you out there, I always say I have the best community. Mwah! Much love. I love you guys to pieces. For anybody who's watching this video, I hope you take it to heart, and I hope you have faith and hope in humanity. Remember, the channel's name is also Hope for Humanity. And I do believe we're finally at that point where we can have hope for humanity again. Take care, much love, namaste, and may the best of the best be with you from this day forward. Bye-bye for now.